What is going on, faithfuls? It's your boy Nick, and I am back again to bring you another Nothing But Niners show. As always, it is just going to be me tonight. Mike has some things getting ready for his kid's birthday party this weekend. Others are busy, so it's just going to be me. So we're going to do a little bit of an interaction show tonight. Just want to say what's up to everybody, see what's going on, see how everybody's doing, and we'll kick it from there. So tonight, basically, what I'm going to do is get your guys' thoughts and everything on the team, where we're going. I'll open up the phone line. I can open up the video if you want to come on the video. So we'll just kick it tonight. Before I get into all that, though, the formalities, got to go through them, guys. If this is your first time here, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Make sure to tell a friend, family member, whatever, anybody that loves the Niners, tell them to come over and give us a watch. I don't think they'll be disappointed. Also, you can check us out on Facebook and Instagram. That's Nothing But Niners, all spelled out, all the way out. Snapchat and Twitter, Nothing But 9, the number 9, ERS, on Twitter and Snapchat. And you can also check us out on the World Wide Web, www.nothingbutniners.com. Yes, nothingbutniners.com. You can read our bios over there, see who's all part of the team, read a little bit of a background about us. Check out our latest YouTube shows. You can also see all of our social media avenues over there and a lot of great articles from a slew of great writers that we have. We got writers all the way in Germany, the UK, Canada, all over the world, guys. So make sure you go over there and check that out. Before I get into anything here, I just want to pull up the chat real quick and say what's up. So bear with me, guys, here. It's just me. So Dre Berry, Elijah, Rocco, what's going on? Antonio, Jesus Lamont, Niner Sickness, McForty-Niner, Fluffy Ninja, Jesus, DVLZ, James Cruss, Theo Romo, Jose Ruiz, Barbecue Freak Show. What is going on, guys, man? Yeah, we have 70. So I see a comment in there, 69 days until the season opens. I actually had 72 days because I think it's the 8th, right? But either way, yeah. So that is going to be fun, man. I can't wait. I am going to be at the very first game of the year, obviously in Tampa, and I will also be at the home opener as well as most likely the Green Bay game and New Orleans. So I'll be there. If you any of you are going to be there, man, hit me up. Let me know. I'd love to meet you guys, chit chat with you, drink a beer, drink a shot, do whatever. Like I said, I'm going to open up the show tonight to you guys. This is an interaction show. So as we usually do on Thursdays, we got some other fun things planned that should be starting in early July. I'm not going to tell you what those are right now, but just keep tuning in. As always, what's going on, Keenan? Theo, Ricky Wright. Anyway, guys, so look, man, my thoughts so far going into the season, man. I heard I forget who it was on NFL Network saying that Deebo Samuel is going to have a breakout year. I kind of agree with him. Let's talk about receivers real quick. The other night, I picked receivers. I ended up picking 6 receivers. Mike had 7 receivers. I had Goodwin, Pettis, Matthews, Hurd, Samuel, and Taylor. I had Richie James not making this team if we keep 6, and it was between Jordan Matthews and Kendrick Bourne for me. I'm not a huge Kendrick Bourne fan. I don't know why. I'm just not, right? So I'm just keeping it real. The hate can be there. It's just my personal opinion. So what up? Yeah, Reggie Wayne, that's who it was. Reggie Wayne was really high on Deebo also, saying that, he thinks that he will be that number 1 type of receiver in San Francisco, which I'm really excited about. He has that toughness. He's got good hands. He's got speed. He's got quickness. He's got the agility, the ability to get open in tight spaces. I was listening to Mayoko today on KMBR and Jennifer Lee Chan as well. I was checking that out, and they were talking about Jordan Matthews, and they said how he had a really good OTAs and minicamp, how he has that height. He was going up to the high point for the ball, and even though he's a bigger receiver, he was still causing separation. He was still getting open, and they think that he may. Jennifer Lee Chan said that she thinks he makes it 53. Matt Mayoko was still on the bubble, still thinks he's a bubble guy. But that's going to be an interesting battle. We talked about on our last show some bubble players and guys that we're excited to see in battles, things like that. So, So let's see. Breakout years when someone gets a lot better overnight, not a rookie who comes in good from start. Yeah, no, I wasn't, Chris. We weren't talking about like comeback player this time. A breakout year is, yes, a breakout year is, you know, somebody who comes back and has a really, really good year compared to what they had last year as well. Breakout player type thing. We haven't had this much talent at wide receiver as long as I can remember. Barbecue Freak Show says, yeah, no, I mean, I think this team is stacked. It's just a matter of health, as it always boils down to, on any football team. Health matters, and that's going to matter completely throughout, from day one of training camp all the way to the end of the season, to the Super Bowl, if the Niners are there. That's something that we have to look forward to. We have to watch out for, obviously, is staying healthy. I think that this team is stacked. Excuse me. Mike's actually texting me. So I think this team is stacked, but it just needs to stay healthy, put it all together. We haven't seen Jimmy Garoppolo in this full type of we haven't seen this Jimmy Garoppolo in a full type of offense, for a full year. So that's going to be exciting. The additions of Tevin Coleman, the wide receivers, Deebo Samuel, Jalen Hurd, Marquise Goodwin coming back healthy. What is Kendrick Bourne going to do? Things like that. So it's going to be interesting. Niner Sickness, appreciate that little donation there, man. Really, really appreciate it. Appreciate all you do for the Niners. Thanks, Nick Rocco. Always, baby. I need to get you on a show one time, man. Last year, when you were praising Kendrick for his good game play, Nick, yes, there was times I praised him. He played well. There's also a lot of times where I'm not big on him. The stupid mental mistakes. And I understand that he was, a young kid and he needs to learn a little bit better and things like that. And it's no take against his athleticism. No take at all. So, it's kind of interesting. And give me 1 second. It's no bad take on Kendrick Bourne. It's just there was a lot of mental mistakes last year, and I'm hoping those get better. And that's not just against Kendrick Bourne. That was against a lot of these guys. There was, Akello Witherspoon. You had Adrian Colbert early in the year. Jimmy Garoppolo holding on to the football a lot early in his first 2.5 games. There were a lot of mental mistakes on this team last year, and I'm hoping that we get through those. He did. He definitely did miss 3 routes and slip once. He's straight across the board. No, look, I'm being straight across the board. It's nothing. I like Jordan Matthews. I didn't say that I don't like Kendrick Bourne. I'm just not a huge fan of him. I think there's a lot that he can work on, and I can't take that away from him. It's the same as people calling out Akello Witherspoon this year. It's literally the same thing. How can you like one who had a bad year but not like the other? Like, if you're gonna judge on bad years, and this isn't you, Dre, or me, I'm saying people in general, they're, talking about Trent Taylor. Oh, he's not going to be healthy. He's not anything that what we thought he was. Well, he had a really good year the year before. So just because he has a bad year doesn't mean we should drop off him. Same thing with Akello. Akello deserves all that chance to prove himself. So Foster says Bourne is going to shine this year. Look, if he's on this team, I hope he shines. I hope every single person on this team shines this year that's on there. And if he's on this team, I will support him. Every single person I'll support. So anyway, let's get into we talked about the receivers. We talked about running backs before, about how I don't think there's going to be one set running back. I think it's going to be a true running back by committee. And then, I think it's going to be that true running back committee. I think Jerick McKinnon is going to kind of get eased his way back in, coming from the ACL. I think we see more Tevin Coleman, Matt Breida, maybe Raheem Mostert in the beginning of the season. So yeah. All right. So let's take this question real quick. William Erb says, Nick, why for some reason you all stated that Sherman and Verrett were battling each for the left corner spot? I never said that. That was Mike that said that he thinks Akello is going to start and Verrett will be competing against Richard Sherman. I think it's the other way around. I think that Verrett will be competing against Akello Witherspoon, because I don't think Richard Sherman is going to be set one way or another. Whether he played bad, he's fully healthy, he was injured, whatever. I still don't see this team sitting Richard Sherman. If he can come back healthy, then we see what we get. And I think there is a chance that if Akello plays well and Richard Sherman struggles to come back from being healthy, that they can there could be a possibility of a switch there with Verrett or whatchamacallit. Now, I know I had JD Hawkhater TV on the show before, and he was talking about how he thinks Verrett could play the slot. I'm not too sure he can play the slot because I'd rather have him on the outside if he's healthy. This is Jason Verrett. But yeah, that wasn't me. That was Mike. So I couldn't explain exactly what he's thinking on that part because that's not me. So let's see. Who's running back 1 and running back 2? Niner sickness. I really don't think there is going to be a true running back 1 and running back 2. I'm not big on this whole running back 1, wide receiver 1 type of thing. I've never been really big on it. And even as a starter, because the starter is just who comes out for the first play of the game. That's who the starter is. That person could not take another 10 snaps for the next 10 snaps. Does that mean he's still the starter? No, but he started the game, so he's a starter. I don't think we're going to see a legitimate running back 1 and 2 or even 3. I think it's going to be all done by committee. So, Chris, no, I think – oh, maybe JD – I don't know. JD said he didn't say Verrett in the slot. I thought he said Verrett in the slot with Akello, Sherman on the outside, and then Verrett on the inside. But my bad. My bad if that wasn't it. I know he played slot – Chris in San Diego, but I'd rather, like I said, prefer him on the outside. I think his skill set is way better on the outside than it is on the inside, but that's not like anything else. So let's see here. Any other questions real quick, guys? So I did send Mike the link. I'm not sure if he's going to jump in real quick or not, but I'm going to I know JD is going to want to jump on. If anybody else wants to jump on and give a shout out or let me know what you're thinking for a quick 10 minutes or so, let me know. Send us a text 1-628-888-3443. I think I put that wrong in the text box. But anyway, it's 1-628-888-3443. Shoot me a text. I'll send you the link. You can jump on or you can give us a call as well. Yeah, Chris, I think he's definitely better off on the outside, especially coming off of that injury, the Achilles. He's not going to be able to, if he comes back 90% like Richard Sherman was or 80%, whatever Richard Sherman said he was, those cuts and stuff will be a lot harder in the slot than they will be on the outside. Let's see who this is. Give me 1 second here, guys. Bear with me. It's just me, so all right, so there we go. What's your opinion on running the wide 9? What are your plans for your birthday, Nick? The big 55. No, I'm not going to be 55, bro. Cheers from Chola, Ontario, Canada, Nick. Go Niners, Robert Todd. Mike, oh, are you coming in or what? You just going to talk in the chat room. I'm going to send that I sent that link out to one of the Text Now guys who just texted me, so I'm waiting on that. I'm not going to be 55. Mike, why do you have to come in here, all right, and start shit? I'm not going to be 55, guys. Relax. My wide receivers are Pettis, Goodwin, Bourne, Taylor, Debo, Matthews, Jalen Hurd, practice squad. I think Jalen Hurd makes this team. What's good, y'all? What's going on, Empire? What up, Dre? What up, everyone? Rico, what's going on, baby? Thanks for checking in. What is your opinion on running the wide 9 defense? I like the wide 9 defense. We actually played it a little bit last year, probably just not as much as we're going to play it this year. But at the end of the year, you could see that Robert Saleh started to switch things up. He started to change the type of defense we were in, and things started to look better, started to blitz a little bit more, started to come with a little bit of different packages. So I'm excited to see that wide 9. It allows the edge guys to be out with the speed that they have with Nick Bosa and D Ford. It'll help them get the angles correct, as well as open up things for DeVar's Buckner, Eric Armstead, Solomon Thomas, whoever's in the middle. And then with the speed that our linebackers have, the ability to be able to fill those gaps quicker, I think it'll be a good defense. I don't think we're going to play it. I think we'll play it a lot more than we played last year, but I like it. What do you think about the O-line? I know I'm worried about the center situation. I actually am not against Weston Richburg. I think that he played well. He had a little bit of injuries last year. He still battled. He didn't play that well or play bad for being injured. And I don't think he was a huge liability. I think another year with these guys, with Pearson, McGlinchey, Tomlinson, Richburg, and Joe Staley all together, I think that continuity will grow a little bit better, and this offensive line will be a little bit better. Are they top Pro Bowl type level offensive linemen? No. But if the offense is running smoothly and quickly like it should be, with quick drops, quick getting rid of the football with Jimmy Garoppolo, we'll be fine. We will be fine. How do you think our run defense will do this year? Our run defense last year was 13th in the league. So I think we'll definitely be better than that this year with the speed of Quan Alexander, Fred Warner coming back again for his second year. He said that he could have got better, Fred Warner. And watching him on tape. Dre, you got to turn down the show.
Yo.
What's up?
What's going on, bro?
All right, good. There we go. I heard myself talking. I'm like, oh, I can't hear anything. Dre,
no, I have my headphones plugged up and my fucking mic isn't working right now. So
no worries. Dre, tell everybody who you are, where you're from, and let the faithful know a little bit about you.
Yeah, bro. My name's DeAndre Berry, man. I'm originally from Inglewood, California, but now I live in Portland, Oregon. So I'm in the Northwest, man, with a lot of those Seahawk fans, some Sea Chicken fans. You know what I mean? So it's kind of tough out in this area, bro. But I keep it solid for the Niner Empire, man. I was born in '85. You know, that year the Niners won the championship, the Lakers won the championship, and the Dodgers won the World Series. And those is my three teams. I've been a Niner fan through the 4 and 12 years, through the 10 and 6 years, no matter what happened, man. You know what I'm saying? I stayed down with the Niners, and I see that this year we're gonna have a good team. You know, I really believe it this year. I know as fans, sometimes we can be a little bit. Sometimes we can believe that our shit doesn't stink. You know what I mean? Like the last couple of years, you know, I was one of those guys who said we were going to be 10 and 6 or 11 and 5, and injuries and stuff like that happen. But I'm more confident this year because one thing that I can say is for the last 3 years, we've stayed with the main core of players. And what we have done is we haven't really lost any guys, bro. We've actually added on to what we've needed. You know what I mean? It hasn't been signings to just go get a big name because the big name is there. Nah, we filled the holes where the holes need to be filled at. And when you have that continuity, and you have a team that has been together for 3 years, solid defensive playbook. It takes about 2 years to learn. Same thing with Shanahan's offense, man. I would say Shanahan's offense takes about 2.5, 3 years. I think it takes 2 years and then the summer of the third year to learn. So with knowing that and knowing that our front seven is going to be strong, I think we're going to have a top 10, maybe even a top 7 front seven. I'm excited about this year, man.
Yeah, like you said, things, haven't gone our way, obviously, and a lot of that it has to do with injuries, and those injuries, they weren't just injuries to players that we didn't need. Not that we don't need them, but they were key players. You know what I mean? Like when you lose your starting safety, you lose a linebacker. Even what Reuben Foster did, he was still a talented player. We still lost him. Solomon Thomas with his head not being on completely. DeForest Buckner with no help on the outsides. I mean, we got Cassius Marsh. You go and you lose Jerick McKinnon before the season starts, which puts all which your whole offseason planning now included Jerick McKinnon. Now you're referring back to something else. Then you lose Jimmy Garoppolo. Then you lose TJ Beathard. Then you're down to a practice squad quarterback who actually shined and played well, which I knew he would. But all those things together, and we were still in games. There was not really any games that we were getting blown out in. I mean, we got blown out, against the Rams in one game. And
the Bucks.
The Bucks, yep.
Yeah. But I think we had six games where we lost by 5 points or less, bro.
Oh, yeah, easy. It's the same as the year before. the same as the
Right.
year before. We lost, like 6 or 7 games by 3 points or less.
3
Now,
points.
don't get me wrong. Points are points. There's one
Right.
thing that I see with Kyle Shanahan's offense, whether we had injured players, or backup players, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
The lack in the red zone has to get better. Like,
Yeah.
there's no, especially with Robbie Gould not being here now, you can't take that chance on kickers. You have to, what's up, Mike? You have to get better in the red zone. And once
Yeah.
we get better in the red zone, I think, those chances that we get, those, the games against Green Bay where we lose by a touchdown, the game against San Diego, we could keep going down a list of those games that we could have won, but we couldn't finish.
But the
And
Green Bay game, there was a lot of phantom flags out there, bro.
oh yeah,
That
there definitely was.
That was horrible. Yeah, there was a lot of phantom flags out there, man. A lot of pass interference. I think they called 2 on that last drive where Aaron Rodgers scored. They called 2 pass interferences on Richard Sherman on 3rd down and long, which he barely even touched the guy, bro. So it was bad. It was bad.
And the one interception was really bad. They started picking away at Maven. It was just a lot of different things.
Yeah, he was getting torched. And I think I kind of knew. I as soon as McKinnon he tore his ACL, it was the Thursday before opening day, bro.
Yep,
and
it was the very last practice, very last play.
Oh my god! And at that point, I was like, please don't start this shit. And then we get to Kansas City. And then Jimmy G, and I was like, okay, the season's gone. You know what I mean? And it's like you have to stick it out because if you're a diehard Niner fan, you're not about to be watching the Seahawks or some other franchise and rooting for them. You know what I mean? The only franchise that I root against is the Patriots because of the whole Tom Brady, Joe Montana argument. You know what I mean? But that's another story for another day. But as soon as I seen Jet get injured, like I kind of felt like, oh my God, like we're doomed, bro. You know what I mean? A guy comes in and you pay him 30 mil, and I think he got like a guaranteed 22 mil or 24 mil like that. And then he gets injured before the season even starts. Like, I think it took a lot of air out of the locker room, bro, because people were excited about Jet. He was tearing it up all training camp. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mike, what's going on, man?
Hey, what's up, man? What's up, Dre? How y'all doing over there?
What's up with it, bro? Hey, you still my dude, bro. It's just the Weatherspoon. You know what I mean?
No, I wasn't mad. I wasn't mad about that. I don't take that kind of shit personal at all, man.
All right, bro. All right.
Hey, but look, y'all gonna see this year. You'll see. Y'all all gonna be like, okay.
I hope so. Man, when you're a 3rd year pro and on your 2nd year you still don't have ball skills and you still don't know how to whip your head around and your hips look like they're stiff, it just scares me, bro. Like it scares me. That's all, bro. Like it scares the hell out of me to know that we had a guy who was very talented in college football, but the thing is, his natural athletic ability got him through his years at Colorado. And as soon as he got to the league, you could kind of see that, oh shit, I'm in trouble because I know that my athletic ability is not going to do what it did while I was in college. And I think that's been his learning curve.
He got hit with the complacency bug early on. Shanahan and Saleh have both gone on record saying that there were certain players, he said, in the secondary. They were talking about Colbert and Witherspoon, who both came in with this "I got it" attitude. They had a decent rookie year, and they were like, "I got it, I got it." And they say, as soon as you think you got it, you don't. But listen, I just wanted to come in. I'm not going to be able to continue out here because I don't know if y'all can see this. I'm out here this time of night. I'm doing yard work and whatnot. I got to clean up all this stuff. We got a big birthday party going on this weekend in my backyard, so I got to finish cleaning this up. But I wanted to say you guys are in good hands with Nick, and I also wanted to shout him out. I know Nick, he's going to be doing a freaking 4-hour show or something crazy like that. It'll be his birthday, guys. So when midnight rolls around on the East Coast, y'all make sure you guys flood the chat and everything. Say happy birthday to my man, the big 55. He's out here doing it big,
I am not going to be 55. I don't know why you keep trying to run with that.
Hey, and real quick, I don't know if you guys want to touch on this, but a topic I just thought about while y'all were talking is that the 49er faithful, man, We always say, Verrett's going to come in, he's going to take somebody's job, and it's usually a rookie, right? It's never going to be Richard Sherman, right? We said Coleman's coming in here, he's going to take, someone's job, Raheem Mostert or Matt Breida's job or something like that, right? The Niners have been in such a bad place for this past couple of seasons that anytime a free agent with a name comes in, we assume that someone that we picked up, some natural homegrown talent, is a guy that's going to be kicked to the side. Think about this for a second. The last time the 49ers had a free agent name that people recognized that didn't make the roster was Darnell Dockett.
Right.
That's the last time it happened.
Arizona. Yeah.
Yeah. We're so afraid of actually thinking for a second, damn, maybe we drafted somebody better than this guy off the street.
But Breida's not better than Coleman, bro. Come on, bro.
That's not.
Hey,
listen.
Hey, Mike, for real, if you look at it, bro, this dude is one of 5 guys in the league. We're talking about Antonio Brown. We're talking about players like Antonio Brown. We're talking about players like Todd Gurley. We're talking about guys like, he's one of 5 players in the league to have 8 combined touchdowns or more in the last 3 years. Not just rushing, but receiving and rushing.
You're getting caught up on one random stat. You look at what
it's not a random stat. It's not a random stat. He had to share the backfield with Freeman, and to do that with Devontae Freeman, who was the clear number 1, bro, and he has not been injured. He stays on the field. I love Breida, but there was not one game where I didn't see Matt Breida run limping to the damn sideline. I'm sorry, bro. Every game he limped to the sideline.
I'm not talking about how healthy Matt Breida is. He's a small dude. He's gonna get his nicks and bruises, right? But I want to leave you guys with this, and you guys can talk about it because I know Matt Breida is Nick's guy. Look up the stats. Tevin Coleman has never averaged the yards per touch that Matt Breida has, right? Tevin Coleman
averages on a regular 4.8, 4.5.
You'll see when you look him up. Nick will pull all that stuff up over there. I know he's the wizard over there on the computer and multitasking. Look up the averages of yards per touch. Look it up what Tevin Coleman did with Shanahan versus what Breida did. The other thing I want to let you guys know is this: Matt Breida's been with Shanahan for 2 years now. Not one time has he ever gone through the entire offense being running back 1. That has never happened. Every time he's come in as a backup and he's whooped ass. And you guys know that I was the one saying we don't need 4 running backs. We don't need 4 running backs.
Hey, no, Breida's a player. But the thing we have to realize is last year, bro, Breida was our number 1. When Jet went down, everybody succeeded the running back core to Matt Breida. All I'm saying is, if you look at production, being able to be available and stand on the field and not limping to the damn sideline every other game to where it looks like you might be sitting out. Bro, like Coleman is that guy. Breida is an explosive back, but if you're talking about somebody who makes big plays, you know what I mean? Coleman is that guy, bro. You know what I mean? I'm happy to have all 3 running backs. To tell you the truth. Sure. I just think, I'm happy to have all 3.
It's definitely a good problem to have. But I'm telling you guys, I want to encourage the people out there watching right now, man. Don't be afraid to think that our guys are better than somebody else just because we know the name. I'm telling y'all, when you look up these numbers, I promise you're going to be surprised. Now, the touchdowns, for sure, Coleman's got them with the touchdowns. But the yards per touch, the receiving yards, I'm going to tell you this. I looked it up, and I don't remember. I think Coleman's only had 4 games with 100 rushing yards. He's not that guy that y'all think he is, bro. His stats are very, like, we hear about it. We hear the touchdowns and all that. Stats are very, very deceiving. He's never carried the ball more than I think he's carried the ball more than 15 times twice in his career, and neither time did he break 100 yards. And he only broke 100 yards with Shanahan 4 times in his whole career.
It's got to look at that versus how many pass receptions he caught that game and how many receiving yards. And also you have to look at that he was splitting the backfield with the 2-time Pro Bowler and Devontae Freeman, bro.
Yeah, but come on now. But Breida's never been RB1 and only RB1. It's always been a split backfield when Breida's back there. Like you said yourself, he's always hurt. So they always got somebody in the middle. It's not like Breida ever had a game with 22 carries and nothing like that. That don't happen with Shanahan. He's not going to let that happen. But I'm just saying, break down the numbers. You guys will see it. I did it before, but listen, we got some homegrown talent here. We got some guys here.
Breida did average something astronomical per carry. Like, I think it was like 5.8 or 6.2. It was a big number, bro.
Yeah,
I'm not going to say that. I can't argue that.
Second highest on the team. Second highest on the team behind Mostert, but Mostert didn't have as many carries.
Didn't have that many touches. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So, all right, fellas, y'all go ahead, rock out, man. Hold us down. Dre,
All right.
man, much love, much respect. I'm gonna keep on messing with y'all in the chat every once in a while. I got a big ass bug. And Nick, man, for real, all jokes aside, man, happy birthday. I know you're not really gonna be 55, but I'm gonna lie and keep saying it anyway.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
All right, bro. I'll talk to y'all.
All right. So I want to go back to this real quick, this Breida talk. And not like saying that Breida is a better all-around back than Tevin Coleman. I think Tevin Coleman is a hell of an athlete, whether it be receiving, rushing, being able to get that 1 yard that you need, right? But we also got to go back and we got to look at Breida, because Breida wasn't planned to be the starter. We also have to look at, he's starting to get all these carries, and you also have to look at why was he continuing to play in these games when he was hurt, because he had that ankle sprain and the knee injury and continued to play. And that I don't put on him. That I put on who was here allowing him to play.
But we really had and then we have to look at even if with those injuries, he was still productive. That's one thing I can say.
He was.
Even when he was limping off the field, bro, it would be like after a 15, 20-yard run or like a 17-yard reception for a touchdown, and we're getting close, and he would have to go out, and then our offense would stifle. I've seen that plenty of times where Breida would get us close to the goal line.
It was maybe when he would get landed on in a pile. Yeah. He would come out with that ankle injury again.
Yeah.
And that was people just landing on his ankle. If he was in open field, he would have been fine. Just getting regular tackle one-on-one. But when you have a lingering ankle issue, just from me playing football or baseball, I never played basketball, so I can't even tell you all that I can. I would love to lie to the world and say yes, but I've never played basketball. But with an ankle injury, it takes weeks for that thing to heal. You'll just be walking up the steps one day like, oh shit, and then you're gone for another 2 weeks. So that becomes an issue as to where I don't put as much on Matt Breida, because there was nothing else here. You had Matt Breida, you had Alfred Morris, who I hated. I didn't even want touching the football. And then you would get him, and then all of a sudden, he was coming and playing and playing and playing. I don't know how much. Excuse me. I don't know how much to put on just him or the other people. But like you said, man, I'm excited for all three of these running backs. I'm excited to see what Jerick McKinnon can do in this offense. I'm excited to see Matt Breida again, and I'm excited to see Tevin Coleman. Now, can I sit here and say that we all judge Jerick McKinnon, and we judge Jerick McKinnon and say, well, we don't know what he's going to be in this offense. He was never the lead back in Minnesota. He was always
but I think that's bullcrap though. Like I don't Asiata, he was like more of like the bell cow, because this Asiata was like 6'3", 240 something pounds. He was a big guy. So and Jet was that guy to where I could see Asiata getting 2 carries and the defense is tiring out, and then you bring Jet in to where it's like going from a Harley to a crotch rocket, bro.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And I think that's exactly how this backfield is going to use. We are going to pound, get tired, open things up downfield, pass, then come in with a different type of back and do things like that. So if you could try to move your mic away just a little bit, because it's really loud with your microphone in. So
is that good?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay. All right.
So, but what I was trying to say was, a lot of people down Jerick McKinnon and say, we don't know what he can do here. He's never been a back. Well, Tevin Coleman's the same way. You know what I mean? Tevin Coleman has never been a number one back, whether he was behind Freeman or not. He was never a number one back. He didn't take as many snaps as Matt Breida did. So for us to sit here and say, well, Tevin Coleman would come in here and not get hurt taking all those snaps, we don't really know.
Right.
Yes, he's a little bit heavier, but they're probably the same height. They're the same running type of running back. So we can't really say, okay, well, you take Jerick McKinnon, you give him as many snaps as Matt Breida had. You take Tevin Coleman, you give him as many snaps as Matt Breida had, and say that they'll stay healthy, because we don't really know. So to down for people to down, not you in general, but for people to down Matt Breida and say, well, he can't stay on the field and he can't do this. Well, he's a small back, but the Niners lost the opportunity of utilizing him how they wanted to utilize this
when
back.
they lost Jet.
Eric McKinnon went down.
Right. Yeah, so most definitely, bro.
It would have never been. It would have never been just Breida getting all those snaps. It would have never just been McKinnon getting all those snaps because they're smaller backs. So
most definitely.
I agree with you on the running backs, though. I think we're going to utilize, pound, open up downfield, open up slants, do whatever, and then come back to the fresh running back and do the same thing with that type of
and bro, how many franchises do you think would die to have this problem? Look at the Eagles. One of the best. They just got D-Jack back, right? And then they also they also got Alshon, and then they got the other guy. I can't remember his name. Then they got
JJ Arcega-Whiteside.
Right. So it's just like, man, that's huge. But good Lord, like not to have a backfield.
Their running backs are going to be what? Corey Coleman,
right?
The one they just drafted, Sanders,
right? And they got Miles Sanders, Barry Sanders' son. But still, though, bro, like we have three possibly. To be honest, bro, I think Raheem Mostert could go to another team who doesn't have running backs and do some damage in the backfield. We literally have four guys who could possibly start in the NFL, and that's scary.
And Mike swears I'm a Mostert hater. It's just I like the other three guys better than I like Mostert.
Right.
It's not that I hate Mostert. It's not that I don't think he can do it. It's just I haven't seen him really do it. I've seen it.
Right.
It's kind of like how I feel about Jimmy Ward. Jimmy Ward has a ton of athleticism, but he can't stay healthy.
He can't stay healthy. He can't stay healthy to save his life. But it's amazing when you got three running backs. Jet, Matt Breida, and Raheem Mostert all run 4.3s, bro.
Oh yeah.
And Coleman runs a 4.4. That's scary.
The slowest guy on our team, positional wise, between receivers and running backs, is Juice with a 4.9.
4.9, yeah.
So,
but Juice be looking like he be moving when on the field, though, bro.
He doesn't play at a 4.9 speed.
Right, yeah.
Speed.
Right.
But Mostert's just got to get better with his ball control, not laying it on the ground. Alfred Morris killed us with that last year twice.
Yeah, every time he carried the ball, I was scared.
So he wasn't the same Mostert that he was with Kyle Shanahan before, or the same Mostert he was in when he was in Dallas, because he was in Dallas. But yeah, so give me some of your other thoughts on the team. I know you're always active in the chat, so give me some of your other thoughts real quick, and then I'm going to see if JD is still available to jump in, and then we'll
okay. Other thoughts. All right. Number one is on last night's show, I think we spent it was like a 20-minute segment on Robbie Gould. Yeah. And, bro, guys might think that I'm crazy for saying this. I think we should just cut him, bro. Cut your losses or trade him, get him up out of there. I don't want to go into the season worrying about if this guy is going to shank kicks on purpose because he just doesn't want to be in San Francisco. You know what I mean?
I understand where you're coming from. Mike just put a Twitter poll out on that today about if we could get a third round for Robbie Gould, would you take it, or where would you take
Hell yeah.
Cut him. And,
right.
My whole thought on it is that I don't think that he has the opportunity to just come out and shank kicks. Like, he has to. If he's not going to want to retire, then he has to prove that he can be on another team. He can come out and have a bad year and say, "Oh, well,
I feel you." Yeah.
So
right. Yeah, I feel you, because the NFL is definitely what have you done for me lately. So if he comes out and has a bad year, nobody's going to want to pay him. But I mean, the pro game is about being away from your family, bro.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're still where it doesn't matter if I'm in the league, but my home is in the Northwest. I'm still going to be away from my family, whether they're in state or not, because you're going to be in film session for at least 3 hours a day. You're going to be at practice for another 3 hours a day. Then you're going to have to, you're going to have to do other things that the league requires you. The NFL is classified as not a sports league, but it's classified as a nonprofit organization.
Do you know that every player every year has to do at least 100 hours of community service?
Yep.
You know what I mean? So like there's other shit that these guys have to do. Then you have like an hour of media time. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a lot that you have to do. This game is predicated on players being away from their families and out of their comfort zones. So for you to be a veteran and to act like that, Robbie, it just pisses me off, bro. Like I don't know the guy personally, but I kind of agree with you when it's just like I just don't like the guy no more. Like I don't want to see him in the red and gold.
And I was a huge fan of Robbie Gould's, and I was like early back in the days. I'm just late season. I'm like, well, just use the tag on somebody. He's worth it. But then for him to and really, I wanted them to tag him to where they could get a possibility of signing him long term and go from there, which the team tried to do, but he didn't want. He didn't want that money. So this is where it gets bad for me for Robbie Gould. You sit here and you say you want to be around your family, right? Well, you just signed a 2-year contract before. You had a house built in Chicago, and you said you wanted to return to the Niners, but you weren't going to be with your team there. So, your family. So, like you said, game nights, you got to stay at a hotel. You're not at home. You got not at home. You got practice all week long for at least 6 or 7 hours of the day, like a regular job. You come home at night. You're not going to be there to take the kids to school. You're not going to be there to pick the kids up from school.
Not at all.
At home, you're going to be saying goodnight to your kids, and they're going to be going to sleep.
Most definitely.
That's why they have FaceTime and everything else nowadays. So, for Robbie Gould, to me, I'm over the whole Robbie Gould thing, but I do think that if he does come in to kick and we make him the kicker, he's going to have to kick. He can't shank. Yeah. He can't just ruin his image like that.
But let's think about this though, bro. What if it gets to a point to where this guy is so distraught by not being around his family to where it affects his performance? We have seen the last year how it's a different from want to be with your family and having your sister commit suicide, or like even like with Marquise having a twin daughter die. Like that's huge. You know what I'm saying? Like he literally had a kid die. You know what I'm saying? But we've already had this history of players having family issues and it affects their gameplay. You know what I'm saying? And I feel sorry for Solly because I believe Solomon Thomas is a talent. You don't get drafted third in the first round, and it kind of pisses me off when there's a lot of people who says, well, he's trash. Bro, that dude was a monster in college football. You don't get drafted third in the draft because you're trash. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just kind of afraid that him having that issue with being away from his family will affect, ultimately, if he doesn't do it on purpose, I'm just afraid that it might affect his play, especially in games where we really need him.
Well, and it really comes down to how people deal with stuff, because you look at Quan Alexander with his brother, had a ball out game.
Oh, he balled out.
You look at Marquise Goodwin, he played well. Just some people take it differently than others. But then there's others that hope and stay there, and they can't get out. And it's not anything bad about them. They just can't get out of their head with it because that's all they think about. I think I'd be the person that if something happened to one of my children, or something happened to my sister, or something happened to one of my close family members, I wouldn't let that out of my head. I would keep being like, damn, like whatever, Like one of my good friends just died this year, and I was laying there at night, and I'm just thinking like, damn, my friend is gone, like. Like, for weeks. For weeks I was doing it. Like every time I would look at my phone, I would think that I would see his name texting me. Like it was just, I couldn't get him out of my head. So there's people that can deal with it, and there's people that can't. And
I'm one of those guys, bro. I'm just like you. I think you're talking about how like even if you get in an argument, you know what I'm saying, with your girl. Like if I get in an argument with my spouse, my day's fucked up.
Oh, mine too.
You know what I'm saying? I'm mad at everybody. I'm not at work, and I worked in the hotel industry. I would be bad to my coworkers, to guests at the hotel. Like my day was fucked up, and it wouldn't get better until I got home and we were able to reconcile that. You know what I'm saying? So I totally get it. I'm just not the guy that's good at being able to deal with life when I'm not in good standings with my family or people that I care about. So I sympathize with that. Okay, enough about freaking Robbie. I just hope he comes in. He does what I know he's capable of doing. My second thing is my second thing. Okay, all right. My second thing. Now, do you believe that Debo, who do you believe is going to have a better pro career, especially with us? Do you think it's Debo or Jalen Hurd? I'm gonna get a lot of flack for this one. I know guys are gonna be on my head in the chat, but I'm gonna get a lot of flack for my answer.
Oh man, that's a hard one. Jalen Hurd has the height. He has the tenacity because he was a running back, so he,
Right.
he can take those hits probably better than. But Debo's stocky as shit. I think you're gonna go Jalen Hurd here, so I'm gonna go Debo.
You already knew, bro. You already knew.
I think Debo comes out and has probably. So, all right, I'll put it this way. I think Debo has a better NFL career in his first 3 years than Jalen Hurd does, but I think Jalen Hurd probably comes and has the later, better 3 or 4 years than
Right.
Debo does.
Right. Yeah. My thing is with Jalen. So in one of his college games, he tore his meniscus. Now we all know with the MCL and the ACL, it affects your movement laterally, but with your meniscus, it affects your movement going forward. This guy tore his meniscus. They went to the sideline. They looked at it. They told him you have a torn ligament. This guy told the coach, I don't care. Put me back in the game. He went back in the game and balled out, bro. You don't find that much these days in players. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to get guys like Ronnie Lott who tells him, hey, just cut this thing off with the scissors, tape it up, and I'm going to get back in the game and get a pick. You know what I'm saying? Like that. You don't have many of those. With that combined with his athletic ability, and his size, I was looking at Jalen on the sideline, just watching receivers. Bro, that guy was poking out of his jersey. A lot of people think he's just a skinny, lanky guy. Nah, dude is built. You know what I mean? And his ball skills. His ball skills are ridiculous to only play 1 year receiver, bro. I just believe that with his size, with his toughness, and his intelligence, because he's a smart guy. He was a good student. I think that he's going to have the ability to have bigger numbers than Debo. And that's just me, you know what I mean? Because Debo, he's like a Anquan Bolden. He's not that fast. You know what I'm saying? He's not that fast. So that's the only thing that scares me with Debo.
His slants, like people say, he has 31.2 yards per slant, well, average. But that's because he had 2 big runs, a 68 and an 89.
89, right?
So
obviously
it inflamed the stats for those per slant. But
right.
I think Jalen Hurd has a higher mountain to climb at first because he's only played 1 year as a receiver at the college level, but playing receiver in the NFL is a total different beast than playing.
Total different beast,
so,
right? Yeah.
Debo has that background of being a receiver for so long.
Right.
That's why I think he'll have a better first 2 or 3.
Better first 2 or 3. Right.
But
yeah.
Once Jalen Hurd really catches on, I think he'll become.
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, because Debo also played in the Big Boy Conference. He was playing against Clemson and Alabama and Ole Miss, and he did it. You're right. You know what I'm saying? So that's a toss-up. I was just really big. I'm really big on Jalen, but I do like Debo, though.
I'll tell you what. When we drafted him, I was pissed. Mike loved him. When we drafted him, I was pissed, bro. I'm like, wait, what? Why?
Yeah. I mean, I was pissed, but I also, in my mock draft, I had us drafting Jalen. So I was actually happy. It showed that Shanny was like, okay, we got our front 7. I want my damn receivers. You know what I mean? And so it's like, okay, we're going to put up some points this year.
I think it was just where he was. And Mike has talked to me a lot since then. Like, we talk about it, and he's kind of talked me off that ledge. It doesn't matter where you're taking. It's just a matter of how you produce. But
right.
I've always been big on that shit, like where you're taking. But, I mean, I also didn't want Deebo Samuel at 2. I would have rather had A.J. Brown, who was sitting there.
Man.
But that's my personal opinion. So,
bro, he was all in Frisco with Jerry sporting the rings, running the hill. I'm like, and he was there, and he's 6'2", like he's 6'2", 216.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, you know what I'm saying? Him and Jalen, you got basically a 6'5" guy. Some people, it's crazy. Some websites you look, he's 6'5", and then some he's like 6'4" and 3/4. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And then you got a 6'2" guy, and AJ Brown, who's arguably like one of the top, I would say top 3 receivers in college football. But then you have to look at, you know, the shifty guy, the guy who can you know, when you try to play press coverage, he's going to run through your hands and possibly break your damn finger. You know what I'm saying? And he's not just going to run around tackles. Debo is going to try to run through your face. You know what I'm saying? And I think that just like Garcon and Anquan Bolden, like that's just like the kind of guys that Shanahan likes. And then also they had developed a relationship in the college All-Star game. You know, the North and South game. You know, and that's what I think did it for Debo. You know what I'm saying? AJ.
That's
yeah.
actually what pushed Debo over the top for
right. Developing that relationship.
I think AJ Brown is just a better all-around receiver than Debo is.
Right.
You know, whether it be measurements or just the ability to, you know, go to the high point for the ball and things like that.
Right.
But Debo Samuel's definitely going to eat in this offense as well. So
he's definitely. Oh yeah, he's going to get his bread. He's going to get his money, bro.
But when
yeah, he's going to eat.
I'm like, what? They didn't say AJ? What are you telling me?
Man, yeah, most definitely.
And then in the third round, you still have guys sitting there, and you take Jalen Hurd, and I'm like, wait, this guy's still injured. Why are we wasting a third round pick on the guy? You know, but
but when you look at his film, when you look at his film, man, that guy's a go-getter.
I never watched him, and that was safe. And then when I started watching, I went and watched. I stayed up all night that night after the draft, and I was just watching tape. And I was watching everything. So, and I was like, all right, I get it. And then the next day, I come out and draft a punter in the 4th, and I'm like, wait, what?
And that might be one of our best draft picks, bro, because it's going to be amazing to start guys off on the 10 and 9 and maybe the 3 with our front 7. You know what I mean? Okay. All right, my third is – all right, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
All right. My third is the 2 channels that I support the most is yours and Rombo Sports. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm with you guys all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, every night, you know what I'm saying, that you come up, I'm in here, you know? And there's been a reoccurrence of random people saying, well, DeForest Buckner isn't that good. And Mike is one of those guys. And it's just like, I don't understand. Like, I'm just trying to figure out, why do you think that is? Why do you think that we have, you know, like diehard Niners fans who says that it's not easy to be a defensive tackle and get 12 and a half, 13 sacks. It's not easy. And then to get almost 60 tackles, like, that's just unheard of. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's hard to play in the trenches and be able to do that. And we have a defensive tackle who gets through the line and he runs down running backs. And then we're saying that he's, you know, I'm trying to understand, why do you think that is said by some people?
I don't think Mike says that he's not good. I just think he says that he's not top 10 yet. And he really, so if you look at if you go by statistics, his statistics haven't been in the top 10 other than last year. He had a really good year. But if you go back and you watch tape, for me personally, I can't speak for Mike because I have no idea.
Right.
I think DeForest Buckner needs help on 1-on-1s more than people think.
Right.
And this is going back and watching these tapes. And to be in a top 10, like an Aaron Donald, you need to dominate every 1-on-1 you get.
Right, yeah.
Not just come in and say, oh, well, I got 3 sacks this game. One of them came off a double team and 2 of them came off a single coverage. But you were getting single team 80% of the time. So the ability to be a top 10 guy, to me, is an Aaron Donald who's going to eat up who's ever in front of him. It doesn't matter if it's a tag team, if it's single. But when you get those single coverage, you got to eat those up. You got to take advantage. Yeah. And there's time where DeForest Buckner doesn't do that yet. And I think and this is my personal thing. To me, like I said, to be a top 10 guy, you got to be able to eat up that one guy in front of you every single time.
Okay. Yeah, most definitely.
If you're not, it's going by the way that coverage is or how people are sliding out. Your ability to get past things. How many sacks of DeForest Buckner's were? We could probably go back and look at this, and I don't know offhand. I'm legitimately asking a question because I don't really know. I would be interested to see how many of those came 3 to 4 yards behind the scrimmage compared to back rushing up into the pocket.
Rushing up.
Or
right, yeah.
And right,
yeah.
Top 10. To me, you have to be able to sack the quarterback when you're 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage, not when he's coming at you. Not when he's running out of the pocket and you catch him.
Yeah.
You're supposed to penetrate your area. And that's just my opinion on it.
Right, yeah. And this
better.
In this year, I think, when you hear offensive linemen and Pro Bowlers say, man, that guy DeForest Buckner is a beast. You know what I'm saying? Just think about what it's going to be like this year, Nick.
Oh, well.
Oh, my God. D Ford, Bosa. A lot of people don't like Armstead, but I like Armstead, Solomon Thomas. Like, these are all, first-round guys. We got 4 or 5 first-round guys. And Contavious Street, you know what I'm saying? Man, these guys are going to eat, bro. It's hard for me to narrow down who's going to have the most sacks, because I think that there's going to be, possibly 3 guys with 10 or more sacks. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a Niner fan. I'm just looking at it. You know what I mean? It's like when you had Cliff Averill, Frank Clark, and Michael Bennett. That 3 years in a row, all of them had 10 or more sacks. It was ridiculous. Yeah. So I'm definitely happy that we're heading in that same direction, and Salah's going to thrive with that.
I think this year, the first year playing, I think you could probably count on 7 sacks across the board, at least 7 sacks.
Right.
I don't think we're at 10 yet because it's going to be Ford's first year playing here, Bosa's first year playing here. The first year, DeForest Buckner actually has help on the edges.
Yeah, right.
It will make him a better player. I mean, you look at Aaron Donald, and he does it with or without help.
Right. Yeah.
Really
true.
Without help.
Yeah.
And to be considered a top 10 guy, you have to be able to do it with or without help. And
at least with Aaron Donald, every time we play him, he don't do shit. We shut his ass down.
Yeah, but
we shut his ass down. Yeah, we shut his ass down. So
but like I said, I don't think it's a bad take on DeForest Buckner. I think he's still young. I still think, and when I had Ian Williams on the show, when we had Ian Williams on the show, he says, it takes 2, sometimes 3 years for a defensive player to even come into his own and getting acclimated to the NFL. And I think that's kind of where DeForest Buckner is at right now. He's learning more.
Right.
He's starting to become that player. When you get him that help, if he doesn't come out and have more than 12.5 sacks this year, I'm not going to say because he could just be doing his job, forcing things to the outside, doing what he's supposed to be doing. So, but I personally wouldn't give DeForest Buckner top 10 yet, but I already stated why. And it's not anything against him or his play. It's just a matter of I just don't think he's there yet. And will he ever be there? Absolutely. I think he'll be a top 10 defensive tackle in this league.
But the thing is, bro, who, you got JJ, but JJ's not he plays on the end. You know what I mean? But let's just say defensive lineman. Okay, so you got JJ. D4 was definitely a top 10 guy last year. You got Aaron Donald. Is there 9 guys that we could actually name?
Grady Jarrett.
Okay.
Chris Jones.
Okay, Chris Jones. Calais Campbell. He's one of those guys. Yeah. We could probably name 9. You're right. Yeah.
Dominic Sue still.
And Dominic Sue, yeah. Well, I don't know.
Look, he completely took over in the Super Bowl, and Aaron Donald was absent.
Right. Yeah, but they schemed. But Belichick schemed his ass off for Aaron Donald though. It's kind of like what Shanny does. You know what I'm saying? Nobody would have ever thought that you send. Who's the guy that we got from Stanford that we're hoping is going to break out this year? That they called the Mauler. Who's the offensive lineman that we drafted from Stanford a couple years back?
Garnett.
Yeah. Who would have ever thought Josh Garnett gets throws in the game and then he completely shuts down Aaron Donald to the point to where he wants to fight? I would have never thought that. When I seen Garnett go in the game, I was like, holy shit. And he shut that man down. You know, so.
But like I said, I think in 2 years, I think DeForest Buckner, maybe after next year, he'll probably be in the top 10. I just don't think he's there yet. I think he's close. I think he's close. You know, I think he's probably top 12 maybe right now. But, you know, we'll see.
Right.
JD, you've been all quiet over there, man. What's going on?
I'm just letting you guys finish the conversation, man. What's going on, fellas?
Not much, man.
What's going on, bro?
I want to ask you both a question. I want to hear what you guys have to say. We did a show on this on, let's say, Thursday, so Tuesday night. We did a show on this. I want to hear what your most interesting camp battle you're looking forward to. And we'll let JD go first.
Yep.
JD, have you thought about this at all? Like, when we were doing our show, have you thought about it?
I mean, I don't like going for low-hanging fruit, but I think the most excited camp battle for me, it would have to be Verrett versus Witherspoon for the number 2 corner spot. Witherspoon looks good from all reports. I told you I met him a few weeks ago, and he looks like he put on some weight, put on some muscle. I told you I also ran into Verrett. He's looking good, moving around, and it's going to be a good camp battle, man. But I feel like if Verrett is anything close to what he was, it's not going to be a contest. I feel like if Verrett is 80, 85, 90% of what he was in San Diego, Witherspoon is not going to be starting. And I don't know how that's going to go because Verrett's only on a 1-year deal. Witherspoon is going to continue to be here. You know, I don't know what that's going to cause in terms of any sort of friction, or I don't know how Witherspoon's going to deal with possibly being benched. But I think, like I said, if Verrett is ready to go, I think Verrett is going to be CB2.
Now, let me ask you this. We all know everybody gets on mic about saying he should be competing with Richard Sherman, not Akello Witherspoon, right? And you just said yourself, how will Witherspoon take it if Akello is that much, or how would Akello take it if Verrett was that much better coming off? If he's at 80%, right? Witherspoon had some issues, and Witherspoon started to come along. But there's so many fans that love Richard Sherman because of what he's done to us. But Richard Sherman, if you watch the tape, Richard Sherman is not anywhere near what he was before. And the only reason I say that is because you go back, we've talked about this on the show numerous times. You can see him turning the wrong way. And everybody says, oh, well, it's because he wasn't healthy. If we don't see that, Richard Sherman has what, 1 more year? It was a 3-year deal. So he has last year, this year, and then 1 more year.
Right.
Why shouldn't Verrett be battling for whoever he's better than? Why does it just specifically have to be Akello Witherspoon?
You want me to answer that?
Yeah, I'll let you answer it, and then I'll let Dre answer.
Real quick, am I echoing or anything?
Yeah, you're echoing a little bit.
And I know that I can hear a TV on. It's not me. I don't have a TV on.
Yeah, that's me. That's me, bro. I'm in the living room.
Dre's jamming over there.
Yeah, we got surround sound and shit. My bad.
But Sherman, first and foremost, Sherman's a coach on the field. You have to know, he might have lost a step. He might not be what he was, but what he is a coach on the field. He's going to be, pretty much in the right spot. He might get burnt here and there, but he's not going to make mistakes. He's not going to make those technical mistakes. He's going to be where he's supposed to be. He's going to get everybody else set up and be where they're supposed to be. And you can't quantify that. Like, you can't bash him for losing a step just because of how valuable he is on the field as a coach.
Right. All right.
All right. All right.
Go ahead, Dre.
Oh, okay. A lot of the plays, there's a reason as to why,
I think it was like a percentage of like 70% of the time, like they wouldn't even throw the ball to Richard Sherman's way. They wouldn't even throw it to the side, bro. They're constantly picking on the other side. And K'Wan Williams did a damn good job at the nickel. You know what I'm saying? Ever since we got him guard those slots.
That's my boy. That's my boy.
Yeah, I love K'Wan. My thing is a lot of the receptions, if you look at Sherm, they were jump balls or they threw to the backside of his shoulder to where he would swing and just miss the ball. Like I seen it happen multiple times in the Green Bay game. You know, they even called a phantom penalty on him. And this was with him playing. He had staples on the back of his Achilles in his heel. And so I'm pretty sure that sometimes when he wanted to get his burst and actually press off of that leg, he might have been, thinking about it a lot more because he probably didn't want to re-tear it. And now that those staples are gone, he says like it just feels like he doesn't have anything hindering him no more.
Right.
And
before you keep going, that's what I was talking about last year where he would literally turn a certain way.
Right.
Abnormally.
So he didn't have to push on that foot.
So that he didn't have to come off that foot.
Most definitely. So I think that
there was a ton of times his receiver was wide open last year and nobody could him.
Right.
So, that's where I'm just saying. I'm not saying that I think Witherspoon should start over Sherman or Verrett should start over Sherman. I'm just saying, why shouldn't Verrett be challenging and competing with all these corners, not just Ahkello Witherspoon? And if Verrett if Verrett comes out and plays better than Sherman, we won't even see that because of the
we still want that all pro dog on I appreciate what my man just said about you literally have another coach on the field. This is a guy who was with Salah when they were winning Super Bowls and when they were matching up against us. What was it? Three or four NFC West championships? Like it was just year after year after year after year, bro. And it's validity in that, bro. There's a lot of validity in that. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
Yeah, just that presence of Richard Sherman. You know that there's quarterbacks out there that's thinking about that to this day. Like, man, even though, Sherm might have lost a step, but I'm still not going to test this guy. And now that they're hearing that he's back to feeling like, oh, okay, now I could turn. And my hips are loose. My hips are still loose. I'm not stiff no more. I can actually turn and push off of this foot. Oh, man, they're definitely going to be thinking about that. So that's why that other side has to be even stronger.
The only thing I don't agree with on the whole situation is we're not paying this guy to be a coach. That's the only thing I don't agree with. Whether he's a coach on the field or not, we're paying him to play. If he's not playing to 100% and somebody is better than him, it's the same thing. It's the same thing as right now. If let's say you have Jalen Hurd and Marquise Goodwin, and Jalen Hurd beats out Marquise Goodwin. You're not going to see Jalen Hurd play because Marquise Goodwin is Marquise Goodwin. Same thing with Sherman. You're not going to see somebody start over Richard Sherman, whether they're better or not. If they're better, say they come out. Same thing we might see. Here we go. Perfect example. C.J. Beathard, Nick Mullins. If Nick Mullins plays better than C.J. Beathard,
right?
Seeing what the coach does. No, they're both competing now.
Right. Yeah.
But Nick Mullins should have been the number 2 guy. So that's where I'm trying to say.
Then you have to question yourself. Okay, let's say that Verrett comes out and balls and he edges out Sherman, right? We already know off the rip. A guy and people I heard the argument about PFF, but it still matters, bro. A 44.1 PFF was the worst in the NFL, especially in the cornerback position, bro.
Yeah, but like I said, I don't go off PFF.
All right, so then you would have to ask yourself, is Witherspoon better than Sherman? And I would say a hell no.
No.
Even if Verrett is better than Sherman, you would say. So that would be as to why that, Verrett would be on the field with Sherman instead of Ahkello. You know what I mean? Instead of Sherman going down to the 2, you have Verrett on the 1. No, that means that shit. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of what side they throw to, they're going to have problems.
Look, I think that's who the corners are going to do are Verrett and I think it's going to be Verrett, Williams, and Sherm. That's who I think they're going to be. But I'm just trying to open up the thought process to everybody and say, if Verrett does come out and he's better, and Akello is better and plays better, not that I'm saying he's going to, would we even see somebody start over Richard Sherman? Probably not.
I don't think so.
Yeah, and here's the thing that some people are kind of forgetting. We heard this last year with Witherspoon about looking great. He went to that cornerback camp with Sherman and Aqib Talib and all those guys. You know, Witherspoon's looking great. He's really going to take a step forward this year, and we saw what happened last year. We're hearing all that same hype up again. So I want to see him do it first. I think he has the talent and the ability to be a legit corner, but I want to see him do it. And the one thing that keeps being brought up every time you mention Akello to all the beat writers, yeah, he's looking good right now, but the pads aren't on. His natural athletic ability, running around in shorts, looking good, long, rangy, fast, the whole deal, cool. But when the pads come on and the physicality starts, it's a whole different game they're playing out there.
Yes,
so
sir.
I want to see what Witherspoon does at training camp when those pads come on.
Oh, I agree with you both. I think we need to see that. But I just don't know. I don't understand. So like Mike was kind of saying tonight, and this is something I agree with him on. The minute we bring in a big name, we think he's going to replace somebody else automatically, right? We talked all that shit about Rashard Robinson. We all hyped him up. All of us. We all hyped him up, right? He had a great-ass year. What did he do the next year? He was dookie.
He did look promising though, bro. I think his head just he thought his shit didn't stink. You know what I'm saying? Him telling himself that he was good. You know what I'm saying? That's what messed him up. You know,
right? But that's also what messed up Akello Witherspoon. Akello Witherspoon,
right?
In his own head. He even said it, the same as Adrian Colbert said. I was playing as somebody that I wasn't.
Yeah.
Realize that Akello has ball skills. He has the right things. I think there's a lot of times where last year in this defense, they were told not to put their head around. I've heard Robert Saleh literally say that in a press conference. They're supposed to play the hands and not look back. Like, he literally said that at a presser last year. Do I hold that so much on Akello? No.
What?
Akello grow? Yes.
So he's coaching them to basically draw pass interference penalties against the defense.
Exactly. Exactly. So, but anyway, like I said, I want to see Akello get better, because if he gets better, our team gets better, and that's pretty much what it's about. I can't count Akello out yet because of the fact that he's only going into his third year, and his second year was a slump. You know,
yeah. I mean, you know, any guy who plays with us. Hold on, I'm tripping, bro. Something just happened. Hold on, bro. What's going on? Okay, so any player that plays with us, I'm definitely rooting for him. You know, I think it's just like the bad season hangover for me with Akello. You know what I'm saying? I mean, last year was just a real horrible season. So,
and a lot of
if he comes up,
a lot of people say this, and I just saw that West Coast in the room in the chat. I just looked in the chat. Said, guys, the problem, Jeff Hafley is gone, which could have been a huge part of Akello's non-development.
Right.
It could have been where Richard Sherman was trying to coach these guys more. So I just can't count Akello out yet. I got to see him under a year, especially with Joe Woods, who's a great defensive back coach. And, you know, just the way that he should be able to get involved. So,
see, I'm not counting Akello out either. You know, I just want to see it first. You know what I mean? It's that Mike Singletary, don't tell me, show me. You know, I want to see Akello. I want to see Akello show me. And I've been watching Akello since high school. He went to high school 3 miles from my house. Like,
holy snap.
The dude can play. I've seen it. He's talented. He has all the traits that we're looking for in corners and the whole deal. But I just got to see it first. I'm not counting him out. I want him to do great things. But my point is with Verrett, if the playing field is equal and Verrett is who he's been in terms, you know, when he's healthy, it's not a contest to me. That I think that the better corner is Verrett when healthy. But, you know, there's a lot of ifs in this whole conversation. If Verrett stays healthy, you know, if Akello really lives up to the hype, like, That's why that training camp battle is the one I'm most excited about.
Yeah. Right. All right. Hey Nick,
Great.
I think my daughter just tried to call me, bro. I'm gonna call back and then I'm gonna tap back into the link.
All right. When you come back, just make sure you turn that TV off because a lot of people can't hear you talking because of the background.
Okay. All right, bro. All
right, JD. What's going on, man? So,
man.
All right. So your most exciting is that corner position. What do you think is going to happen with the whole? Mine was, I don't know if you guys heard what mine was. One of mine was Malcolm Smith, Dre Greenlaw, that outside or Sam type linebacker type of position. I'm excited to see. That's one of them. Also, my other was obviously I stayed away from the quarterbacks because obviously that's everybody's battle they're looking forward to. And then the receiver was one. But if you were to give me who would your six or seven or how many ever receivers you're keeping, who would they be this year?
Well, I would, if it was me, I would love to keep 7 just because of the talent that we have. But if I'm thinking like Kyle Shanahan and thinking like John Lynch trying to put together a roster and keep the best 53, they're going to keep 6. They're not going to keep 7 receivers. They're going to keep 6. I think that's pretty much, you can pretty much take that to the bank just because of how many running backs we're going to have to keep, potentially how many quarterbacks we're going to keep, et cetera, et cetera. So I think that we're going to keep 6 at the end of the day. And if I had to pick the 6, it's going to be Goodwin, Debo, Pettis, Trent Taylor, Jalen Hurd, and then probably I would probably have to go with it's either going to be Matthews or Kendrick Bourne, man, and that's the tough one. If it was me, I would go with Matthews. I'm not a Kendrick Bourne guy, but he's been in the system. He knows the offense, and Matthews is here on a 1-year deal. They can cut him. It's not going to be an issue. So we'll see, but I think we keep 6 at the end of the day.
My between my two is Matthews and Bourne as well. You guys all know that. I've been saying that. And I saw somebody make a comment earlier. Well, Bourne led this team in reception yards last year, right? But didn't we see that with another player and came back the next year and was cut? Jeremy Curley.
Right.
Jeremy Curley led the team in receptions and yards, and we cut him. So where there's not much money there.
And not to cut you off, but Bourne led this team in receiving by default. Like somebody had to. Goodwin missed time. Pettis missed time. Trent Taylor wasn't himself. Like somebody had to do it. And so it was Kendrick Bourne.
Here's a question for the faithful, and I want to hear what you guys have to say in the chat. If Dante Pettis was healthy the entire year last year, would Kendrick Bourne have led this team in receptions? Or yards, red zone, touchdowns, anything? Would Kendrick Bourne have been the number 1 guy as a receiver if a Dante Pettis was not hurt in those games that he wasn't hurt? I want to hear what you guys say, yes or no. Just let me know in the chat. JD, you can feel free to answer that if you want.
Dante Pettis would have led this team in receiving, no question. You saw it week 1 right away. I mean, he stepped in and was good right away. And then, the injury bug crept up early and he wasn't the same, that middle part of the season. And then when he finally got right, the tail end of the year, he came in and he dominated. So I don't think that, it's a coincidence that Bourne, put up those numbers while Pettis was out. If Pettis played the whole year, no question Dante Pettis would have been the leading receiver on the team last year.
Right, and that's my point. So everybody's so upset. Now let me ask you this question. If it was between Bourne, let's just say Debo's been in this system 1 year, Hurd's been in this system 1 year. They're not rookies. If it was between any of those 3 and you can only keep 2, who are you keeping?
Hurd and Debo. I mean, Debo, right? Bourne is replaceable, man. These fans, they get too wrapped up, emotionally involved in certain guys. Bourne is replaceable.
And that's the thing that I'm talking about. Now, obviously it's all going to be personal preference, but I'm trying to keep it as realistic as possible here. If it came down to, like I said, Debo or Bourne, I'm taking Debo. If it came down to even Jordan Matthews and Bourne, yes, Jordan Matthews was cut from the Cowboys. Yes, he was cut from the Eagles. He went back to Philadelphia. Yes, there were things that was cut, but there was he had to be that guy. He had to be that number one guy there, and he was never that number one guy. You put him in an offense where he doesn't have to be that type of receiver, Jordan Matthews will produce. 6 of his 8 touchdowns come from the red zone. You know what I mean? With his 1 year with Philly. He will be that red zone threat. Kendrick Bourne can be that red zone threat. But both of those players are replaceable. And to sit here and argue and say, I'm not saying Matthews is better than Bourne. I'm not saying Bourne is better than Matthews. I just think either one of them can take each other's place. Right. And if Taylor comes back and has a better year, Matt Mayoko came out and said on his podcast, I think Trent Taylor leads this team in receptions and yards or receptions next year. Literally said that. Right. With Trent Taylor. He said Trent Taylor looks like Trent Taylor again. And he said it on KNBR today. That's when he said it on KNBR today.
I heard it.
He said, I have a feeling Trent Taylor is going to lead this team in receptions. But we're all over here bitching about keeping Kendrick Bourne.
And see, here's a curveball I'll even throw your way, and you may or may not agree with me. I think you might agree with me. I tend to look at certain spots more long term, and if it was up to me, I wouldn't keep Matthews or Kendrick Bourne. Richie James would get that spot. That's just me. He brings more to the table. He's a returner. I like his potential as a wide receiver. If it was up to me long term, in my thinking, I would keep Richie James over those guys.
See, I would need to see. So personally, I love Richie James. I interviewed him. He's a Florida boy. I love it. I love Richie James, but I saw the explosion and stuff for special teams, but I didn't see him take advantage of that when he had the opportunity as a receiver. Now, it was a rookie year, right? So I can't really say that because I haven't really seen it. If you guys ever watch our show and you know me, I don't go off what ifs. Like, I don't go off what ifs. I need to see it. It's kind of the same thing that we're talking about with Akello Witherspoon. You need to see it, right? You need to see that production. I don't care what you did in college. The NFL is way faster. It's a whole different ball game than college level is, right? You got bigger guys. You got faster guys. You got more skilled technique guys than you do in college. And if the NFL didn't evolve to be better than college, then it wouldn't even be as fun to watch, right? So I need to see Richie James do that as a receiver. I would take Kendrick Bourne over Richie James as a wide receiver any day right now. But I like Kendrick Bourne and his ability to cause explosion in the run, in the special teams game, punt return, kick return, whatever it is he's doing. But yeah, so my 6 right now, I have Matthews making it over Bourne. And if I'm wrong, fine. That means Bourne's better than Matthews. And he deserved, and he moved into that spot to play. I'll support him. Just really, really interesting. So let's see here. I just want to see if there's any questions. I'm going to go in the chat, guys. Sorry, I haven't been in the chat in a little while. I've been talking. Let's see. So a lot of no's on that question that I asked. Bourne is not a game changer, says Jay Austin. Kendrick Wells, Bourne is the last man up. I totally agree with that. I think he's that bubble guy in that 6th or 7th spot of whatever we keep. Bourne needs to be on this roster, says Walter Galvez. Trent, I need to see him be great again. Kendrick Wall says. Callie Long says Bills, Nick. Yes, I'm sorry. I said the Cowboys, but I was just talking so fast. Yes, it was the Buffalo Bills. My bad, guys. Everyone's staying except Malcolm Smith and Goodwin, Bob Money says. I still think Goodwin's on this team.
Goodwin makes the team.
Yeah. Alan Wigdowski says Taylor over Matthews, Matthews over James, James over Bourne. That's how he has it. Callie says enough with Richie. Fact or fiction, Richie James is traded after preseason. What do you think?
I think they might try and stash him on the practice squad, and then he gets picked up.
I don't even know if he can play on the practice squad. He has too many played games.
We'll see. We'll see.
That'll be. I have to look that up because I don't think he can, because I think he has more than 6 consecutive games played.
Yeah, you might be. Yeah.
So it would be a trade or a cut. Would you get anything for him? I don't know, man. This is a 7th round guy. You know,
I think we could get a 6th for him.
Think so?
Because he was a 7th round pick. He's shown some ability. So you figure one, round up.
I'd take a 6 if I could get it. But I don't think that they trade him. I think it's either just he makes a 53 or he doesn't.
I agree.
Nick, did you hear Jennifer Lee Chan on KNBR? I did, Jay Austin. She was talking about she was talking about the same thing as Matt Mayoko was, talking about they were talking about how Bosa, do they think that the missed time for Bosa will be a hard thing for him to overcome? Matt Mayoko said he doesn't really think so because this kid has been doing it since he was a little kid. It's pretty much just learning the scheme, and he thinks he's smart enough. He doesn't think it'll bother him at all. Let's see. What would be the most surprising cut, MBN Pineapple says?
You want me to take that first?
Yeah, what would be your most surprising cut? I know we did this on the show before, but it's an interesting question.
Most surprising cut. I do think Goodwin makes the team, but I mean, yeah, if he got cut, I would be surprised, but I can also kind of see it. You know what I mean? Like I could see a universe where Marquise Goodwin gets cut off the team, but I would definitely be surprised, but it's just something in the back of my head that I keep thinking about, like, All
right, interesting. That's interesting because I don't see us cutting Marquise Goodwin at all, but it was a most surprising cut. So to me, it would be a surprise if he got cut. So it would definitely be a surprise. Alan says most surprising that might happen or most surprising that's impossible. I don't know how to answer that. West Coast says his is Marcel Harris and Caden Smith. Surprising cuts.
I don't see Caden Smith getting cut. If anything, he'd be practice squad.
Oh, that's what Jay Austin was talking about. He said that Jennifer Lee Chan said that Kendrick Bourne still has issues focusing. Interesting. I didn't catch that part of it.
I was listening too. I didn't catch it either.
Yeah. Gibster says McKinnon would be a surprise. Brian Carter says Goodwin makes the team, but he's going to have a few specific plays Shanny makes for him specifically. I think that is a possibility. I don't think it's going to be as many snap count takeaways as we think, but I think there's times where we give him that breather or give him that break or get into that position where I don't want to say use him as a decoy, but use him as a decoy type of thing. What's your thoughts on that?
You've heard them talk about the running backs, and they're putting a premium on that this year. I don't see them cutting any of those guys.
All right.
I mean, pretty cut and dry. You've heard them talk about it, like you saw it last year. We needed everybody. They're not going to cut anybody.
Let's see here. He says
Anybody.
Anton Gray says Jimmy Ward would be a surprise. Absolutely, that'd be a surprise for me. As much as I want him gone, it would be a surprise if the team cut him.
Yeah, they're not cutting Jimmy Ward. They brought him back knowing full well that he's made of glass. I'm sure they expected him to get hurt at some point, and yet they still brought him back. So they're not cutting him.
So Brunel Jacob says, Nick, do you think we will use Goodwin more as a return guy?
No.
I don't think so either. I'd probably put a 20% chance on him at returning any type of kicks.
Right. You have Mostert, you have Pettis, you have Richie James. I mean, you have Trent Taylor. Like, there's no way Goodwin's gonna return kicks.
Yeah, that would be a surprise to me. Buckner would be the biggest surprise, but only possible if we get people dumber than Chip Kelly and Trent Baalke. Allen's just saying if he was cut, that would be a huge surprise. Obviously, there's a lot of easy surprises that we would have. I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo, Joe Staley, like there's a lot of huge surprises. But we want to kind of keep it realistic. So
I have a surprise cut just because I don't think Kyle has the balls to do it.
CJ Beathard.
CJ Beathard. You read my mind. I don't see it. I don't see him cutting CJ. He would try and trade him and do him a solid, or he would keep all three. I mean, I don't see him cutting CJ, even though he should.
Bro, a lot of people are going to be butthurt this year when CJ Beathard is still on this team along with Nick Mullins, and they're still battling it out all year long.
I'm one of them. I'm going to be pissed if he's on this roster this year.
Bro, I really don't see Kyle Shanahan cutting CJ Beathard. And I've said this from day one. You guys heard me on the show. Until he does it, I still have that itch in the back of my throat, like he's not going to do it. I really do. Like, it's sitting there. And it all started with the whole Joe Williams stuff. And I know Joe Williams ended up getting cut, but it took a year, right? It took him a year to cut him. And then CJ Beathard comes out. Nick Mullins plays better than him. But you heard Matt Mayoko on KNBR today. He said, I would not be surprised to see CJ Beathard, the backup quarterback, and Nick Mullins somewhere else.
Right.
He literally said that today. He said it's not because Nick Mullins can't run this offense. It's not because Nick Mullins isn't a better quarterback. He just doesn't have better skills than CJ Beathard right now. And that's why he thinks CJ Beathard will be Kyle Shanahan's number 2 guy this year. That's coming from Matt Mayoko. So that's where I'm scared.
And it's sad, man. I feel like if you put a gun to Kyle Shanahan's head and said, hey, you have to cut one of them, he would cut Nick Mullins.
Oh,
and it's I don't like that Kyle's playing favorites like that. And you saw it on the field. It was proven on tape who the better backup is.
You know, and it's crazy. It's really crazy. But like I said, Mr. Robot says CJ has a good deep pass. I think that's the only thing that CJ has going better for him than any other quarterback on this roster. He has a better deep ball than Garoppolo, Mullins, Wilton Spate. You name it. He's got a better deep ball than them. Let's see. If you know me through these Niner channels, you know I'm always had Joe Fumbles not making a squad. Yeah, Go Hard. I remember you talking about that. That's Go Hard says that. CJ should have never been drafted, West Coast says. Rude Boy Ra says CJ is his son. What does CJ hold on Kyle? I don't know what that means, but dude, I don't know. I don't know what it is, man. I really don't. But, you know, it's just, to me, if Kyle Shanahan cuts CJ Beathard or demotes him to third-string quarterback and Nick Mullins above, I will have that much more respect for Kyle Shanahan than I have right now. Because I'm still up in the air as to where, is he doing what is really right for the team, or is he doing what's right for the players that he drafted? And that's where I need to see that concern. I don't think we would have won 4 games last year with CJ Beathard playing. I don't even think we would have beat Oakland. And that's to be God's honest truth. You know, so, all right, we'll take a couple more here, and then I'll talk to you for a minute, and then we'll get up out of here because it's been almost 2 hours now. So let's see. Simulator showing 6-10 record for this year. That is ridiculous. We've already talked about records. We all have us like 9-7, 10-6, right? I think that's what you have.
Yeah, 9-7, 10-6. And real quick, before you say something else, happy birthday, my man. It is midnight over there.
Thanks. I was trying to hide and not go through that. You know, the big 55. I got a 52 on tonight. Let's go with 52.
Hey, I wasn't gonna go there. You did, man. You know, I was just doing happy birthday.
But no, I appreciate it, man. Thank you. I'm blessed to see another year and another day so far. So we're always good. So Rob Amon says he has the Niners 8-8. I think that I'm 9-7, 10-6, maybe 10-6, 11-5, depending on how some games go. The only way I could see 8-8 is if we lose a game that we really shouldn't, a game that we should have really won, and we just have a bad ass game. Like, we turned the ball over 6 or 7 times, I think. So yeah. So
if we have one of those seasons where everything goes right, I think the team goes 11-5. If we have one of those kind of seasons where we're not bit by the injury bug, everything goes right, the ball just flips our way, like some teams get, 11-5, I think, is our ceiling. But we're going to have some adversity. We're going to have some injuries. It's football. It's normal. It happens. So I expect 9-7, 10-6. If we have any significant injuries, it's going to obviously affect things. I think I told you the other night, 6-10, I think, is our floor if we have a bunch of injuries and things go really bad. But if everything goes right, I see 11-5 being the ceiling. But 9-7, 10-6. That's pretty much where I have us.
That's where I have us too. I have us 9-7 with that really bad game, but I 10-6, 11-5, I think is where we should finish with the talent. Man, guys, thanks for all the birthday love. Walter, Rob, Dre Berry, Go Hard, Wild Bill, Trey Willie. Appreciate you guys. Kendrick, Mr. Robot. I appreciate that, man. You guys don't understand. Like I said, man, every day you get to see another day, man. Walk outside, look up to the sky, and just take a deep breath and be blessed that you can take another breath. So, with me being a fireman, paramedic for so many years, some people just aren't that lucky. So just take life fully, take it all in, man, and enjoy it. And I appreciate all the birthday love, guys. Just another day older, though. That's all it is to me. Let's see. Words of wisdom. Yeah, words of wisdom, man. That really is. So, all right. So we said 9-7, 10-6, 11-5. If everything goes right, that adversity, we can get over that little hump. We win a couple games that we weren't supposed to. We just take – and the start of the season is really going to depend on our season. And, those first 6 or 7 games, that first half of the schedule is really going to depend on where we end up. Because that last stretch of the games you got teams in it that when it gets to the end of the season and they're usually playing well. So we catch all the easier games towards the front and all the harder games towards the end. So it's going to be interesting.
The one good thing, and I agree with you there, that last stretch of the year is brutal. But the one good thing is some of our quote unquote easiest games all come on the road. So that's an obvious advantage that we have this year. Even though we're going to have some tough games, a lot of them are at home, and that is obviously in our favor. So
the only other factor, and obviously we all know the division matters, but those games are going to matter the most. If we win 1 or 2 of those games, we're not going to the playoffs, obviously. We have to win our in-division battles. We have to split at least with everybody. We have to at least split go 4-4, right?
We got to go. I think we got to go 4-2. We got to sweep Arizona. We got to split with Seattle and the Rams.
Yeah, we have to. You have to. So here's a good question. CJ Dookie's Nick voice, Jay Austin. Yeah. Let's see. Do you think the week 4 bye week is going to screw us over? And that's from West Coast.
With this being a young team, I don't think it will, because I think you want to have them playing with some momentum. I think you want to have them keep playing, keep that momentum going, have them, feeling confident, feeling themselves, the whole deal, especially if we start the early part of the year with a lot of momentum and win a lot of those, winnable games earlier in the year. I think we build that momentum early in the season. It's going to be huge for this team. So get the bye out of the way, let them keep building that momentum, and hopefully it rides through the remainder of the year. If we had more of a veteran team, some older guys, or if we're dealing with a bunch of injuries again, obviously the early bye week's going to hurt us. But I think having a young roster and just imagining that the team stays relatively healthy this year, I don't think it's that big a deal.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it actually benefits us because we're on the East Coast in Tampa and Cincinnati. Then we have to fly back to the West Coast and play Pittsburgh, and then we're on a bye week. So that gives us that extra little time off, coming back from the East Coast, not traveling, get back into our acclimates, and then get right back to practice. And I think it will help us, man. I don't think it's going to hurt us.
But we also have another little mini bye midway through where we play Arizona on Halloween, and then we don't play again. And that's a Thursday night game. And then we don't play again until that next Monday. So it's kind of like a little mini bye.
Yeah, because we have off like 7 days or 8 days 9 days or something like that in between. Because
it's like 9 or 10 days, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird because we play Monday night and then we don't play again until
we play Thursday night, then we don't play again until Monday. And so, I'm not worried about the early bye. The early bye week doesn't bother me too bad.
Yeah, so I'm not really worried about it. It's football. There is no break, Daniel. I understand there's no break, but it's still a body break, a mental break from traveling, things like that. Getting healthy for people to sit. There's small lingering issues. It's a break. So AC at strong safety, Timor at free safety, Tartan Ward can't stay healthy. Marcel Harris had too many mental mess ups and missed assignments. Don't get trapped by Arizona this season. Let's see what else we got here. Week 4 bye is going to bring back McKinnon and Alexander back healthy. I think Quan starts off the year there. I think McKinnon just gets a little bit here and there. I don't think we really see him until like week 6, maybe week 7, like fully.
I wouldn't be surprised if they put him on that 6-week PUP to start the year.
Yeah, no, and you might be right. They're definitely gonna work him in. So, all right. So we've talked about predictions. We talked about camp battles. Who are you most excited? Did I already ask you this? Who are you most excited to see this year?
Yeah, we've talked about that.
We talked about that, right? Okay, because I remember us talking about that. So I want to ask the chat real quick before we get out of here. I want to know one player offensively who you're excited to see this year. It can be anybody on the offense. All right. So, JD, obviously you're going to the home opener. Can't wait. Can't wait to hook up with you, get some beers, do whatever.
Yes, sir.
Are you taking the train in because you're in Sacramento, right?
Yeah, I'm in Sac. I'm not sure what I'm probably going to take the train just because it's easiest, and plus I don't have to drive, so I can drink a little more at the game if I want.
Are you coming the night before or the next day?
My plan was coming the day of, but I haven't really talked to anybody about coming down the night before.
Bro, I'm sure my hotel room is going to have like a recliner or extra space on the floor, and it's just me in there. So if you want to come the night before, dude, you're more than welcome. Come party with us at the Avatar. You can crash right on the floor or wherever, bro.
All right, I'll have to think about that one. We'll chat about that.
Yeah. Just letting you know, man. It's open. So, I'm excited to see all the faithful out there. I can't wait. If anybody's going to the Tampa game, let me know. I will be out in Tampa as well. So I get to go to the very first game of the year. Can't wait, boy. So excited. So a lot of people. Let's see here. Fred Warner says Burnell Jacobs. Coleman says Daniel Andre. Hurd says West Coast. Mr. Robot says Pettis. Gipster says Jimmy. Rude Boy says Pettis. MBN says Jimmy. Jimmy G and Pettis. I said one. Brian Carter. Empire Strikes Back says Jimmy. Christopher Gray says Goodwin or Jimmy. Antoine Gray says Jimmy G. Jay Austin says Tevin Coleman. Offense is Jets. Comeback defense is Quan. That's from San Francisco. Sac Francisco, I guess you could say. I always say San Francisco, but it's Sac Francisco.
It's funny. Sorry, I keep cutting you off. I hate doing that.
You're good.
You mentioned Sac Francisco. If you look at the hat that I'm wearing, I don't know if you remember when Navarro Bowman and Justin Smith and those guys were advertising their Sac Francisco clothing line.
Yep.
It's, they have the defense on the front, and then you look at the back, and it says Sac Francisco, if I can get it there.
Yep.
Sac Francisco on the back of the hat. But
that's awesome.
Yeah. So I picked this up like, I don't know, a month ago. One of the old school hats that they were promoting.
West Coast says, did you guys hear that 70s song that predicted us to be in the Super Bowl versus New England?
I heard about that.
Yeah, I heard about it too. But, hey, I saw the article. I think it was WebZone put it up. Brian Carter says the Death Trio, Buckner, Bosa, Ford.
I'm more, outside of the low-hanging fruit, obviously I want to see Jimmy. Obviously I want to see Kittle. Offensively, though, like if you go outside of the normal answers, Trent Taylor, man. I want to see Trent get healthy because it just brings a whole new dimension to the offense. Jimmy G loves him to death, and I just like watching a guy like that work, man. He's solid, and I want to see him bounce back, man. I'm more hyped to see him probably than anybody on offense.
I agree. So Sac Francisco says, "Oh, I must get that lid." #HawkHater.
I'll put the link in the chat. How about that?
Yeah, so he said, so he'll put the link in the chat, guys. NBA Pineapple says it was Chat Sports. Yeah, I don't know who wrote the article. I just know I clicked on a WebZone link and it takes me to whatever page whoever wrote it. So the NFL has incentives to advertise SF next year. We play in China. They are not going to put a losing team in China. Oh, interesting.
I just put the link in the chat, and this hat's only $12, guys.
Oh, yeah,
Can't beat
I must have to do that too. Oh, it didn't click up on my link yet, so. What is your record prediction? My prediction is 10-6. We said that 10-6, 11-5, 9-7, somewhere around that 9-7 to 11-5 area. About 5 minutes. Daniel Andre says 25 sacks. Is that for the defensive line? Because I think we get more than that. I said probably average 6 to 7 across the board. And if you go with four guys, that's 28 right there. That's 24 with 6. I think we'll get that. So I don't see the link that went in there.
I put it in there, but it's go to dethrone.com.
Dethrone.com. That's DETHRONE.com.
Yeah, dethrone.com. It's I put the link in there. That's strange, but yeah, dethrone.com. Look at the hats, and it's in there.
Nice. Yeah, I'll have to check that out as well. I need to get some new gear for the home opener. We might have a new I want to ask you guys something. So we were thinking about coming out with another shirt, and it was going to be a Nothing But Niner shirt with our logo and something else on it. How many people actually wear stuff to support something they watch? Like,
I was going to hit you up about one of the Birth of a Dynasty shirts. So I would.
Yeah, like, oh, there it goes. It just popped in. NBN Pineapple put it in because for some reason yours aren't going in. But I want to know if you guys would wear something that was Nothing But Niners logo or anything like that, like representing us. Or does it have to have something San Francisco on it? Like, that's what I'm just asking. I'm just trying to get a feel for what our supporters would wear. Like, obviously, I would represent a Nothing But Niner shirt, you know what I mean? Because obviously I'm a host, but I'm just kind of interested to see what people would say. But if you guys would or not. I mean, obviously we have the Birth of a Dynasty shirts. We have the George Kittle shirts, the Stone Cold Kittle shirts. Miss Debbie just got hers the other day. She loves them. She said these shirts are fire. But I just wasn't sure if it needed to have, San Francisco on it somewhere. Joe Budden does his own podcast type shirts, things like that. So I was just kind of interested to see what people say.
I think that if you really want to make a shirt that everyone's going to want to wear, it should say Hawk Hater TV on it.
Hawk Hater TV, yeah. Because you guys must go over to YouTube right now and make sure you hit that like and subscribe button on Hawk Hater TV on YouTube. Check his channel out as well, guys. And yeah, but that's pretty much all I got for the night, man. I appreciate, Dre jumping in. I appreciate Hawk Hater jumping in. I appreciate all the birthday. Yeah, and that's the other thing. Something like, all right, we have something coming up with that saying. So I'm not going to spoil it yet. We have a shirt that will be done soon. But anyway, I appreciate all the birthday love, guys. Really, from the bottom of my heart, man. Like I said, never take a day for granted. Every day you can see another day is a great day. So make sure you guys understand that. And then need a Duck Phallus shirt. I love it. Rogish, thanks, man. Sure would. More than anything in life, gives her. Okay, good. All right, cool. Your things are going on. Guys, we'll be back on Sunday or maybe earlier because I know Mike, when he can't jump on, he likes to jump on and do another show. So maybe we have a surprise show coming out. Because he always misses it when he's not here with me.
You snooze, you lose, man.
Yeah, So, yeah. So, but yeah. Other than that, man, Dre, I appreciate you. I know you're in the chat right now. I don't know what happened to you earlier. You didn't come back, so saw your call drop, and then all of a sudden you never came back. So appreciate you jumping on. Appreciate your knowledge. Appreciate all of our supporters. JD as well. I appreciate you jumping on, man. It's always fun getting you on here, talking some football. And, guys, man, we got 71 days now. Well, for me, it's 71 days because it's past midnight. So for y'all, it's still 72 days. So I'm one day ahead of y'all. just a little bit, just by a couple hours. But yeah. So that's it. I got, man. You got anything else? So tell the faithful where they can follow you at.
You can follow me Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. All of them are the same. Hawkhater TV, HAWKHATER TV. If I spelled that right, that's a lot of letters. But Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Hawkhater TV. That's where you can follow me. Check me out, guys. Appreciate anybody that checks out my channel and subscribes. A lot of you guys in the chat do watch my stuff, so I appreciate you guys. Nick and Mike, I appreciate you guys having me on all the time. You know, I really enjoy this. This is fun. And, yeah, man, I'm looking forward to the season just like the rest of you guys. And I know you said, what, 72 days, something like that? For me, it's like 44 or 45 days because I'm going to be at Levi's for the preseason opener against Dallas. It's on my birthday, so that's awesome, too.
Nice.
So yeah, I'll be there at Levi's in, a month and a half.
Yeah. Like I said, I'll be at Tampa, but I'm talking real football. I'm talking It means something. It means something. But no, I can't wait. I don't even know what the days are until preseason. It's August, so it's what, August 8th is the first weekend, August 10th?
August 10th is our first preseason game.
Yeah, so August 10th is the first preseason game, so we're at June 28th. So, yeah, we're about a month away, 40 days away, 40 some odd days. So, have you heard anything on training camp?
No, not yet, man. I don't know if you've seen it on Twitter. I'm putting stuff out all the time, tweeting at the Niners saying, hey, when are you releasing the training camp dates? But they wait, man. You see all these other teams have already been selling their training camp tickets. The Eagles, the Seahawks, tons of other teams, the Cardinals. The Niners always just make us wait until 2 weeks before. They're going to do it early July, probably somewhere around July 10th through the 13th is just my roundabout guess based on last year. But yeah, somewhere early July, they're going to put out all the dates for the available training camp practices. They did say at the State of the Franchise this year, if you guys watched that they're going to have more practices, more seats available and all that. So I expect a good training camp experience this year for all the fans that go. I'm going to be going there. I plan on doing some videos, maybe some periscopes, that kind of thing. If you guys are interested in seeing what I'm seeing there at training camp, and I'll film what I can. Because they do make you put away your phones after a certain point that the practice starts. But yeah, training camp, I can't wait, man. I'm probably irritating Joe Fan and the rest of the Niner guys about how much I'm asking them. When are you going to give us the training camp info? But it'll get here, man. It's coming really quick. It'll be here before we know it.
Guys, if you're going to training camp, make sure you meet up with JD and take a selfie with him.
Right. Yeah. I'll even sign autographs too. I'll sign babies, the whole deal.
Hey, and you guys always know I'm up for when I'm around, man. Hit me up. We'll hang out, do whatever. So, guys, I just want you guys all to know and have a great rest of your night there on the West Coast or wherever you are. Great morning, great evening, great night. It doesn't really matter. Either way, just make it great. And, guys, that's it from me, man. Like JD said, give him a follow on all of his Twitter, social media avenues. Check out his YouTube channel, Hawkhater TV. I know I always love watching his draft reactions, which are always fun. I don't usually catch them live, but I go back and catch them, and it's always still a good time. I laugh, I giggle, I love it. So make sure you guys do that. Also check out Steve McCarver Jr. on YouTube as well as Rombo Sports as well. So, but if this is your first time here, hit our like and subscribe button. Give us a follow on Twitter and Snapchat, nothing but 9ERS. That's the number 9, nothing but 9ERS. Instagram and Facebook, Nothing But Niners, all spelled out. Check us out on our website, nothingbutniners.com. You can find everything over there. Articles, a little bio about each one of us from the MBN crew, our YouTube channel page, all of our social media avenues, pictures of all the faithful. And but yeah, guys, man, I wish everybody the best and greatest evening tonight. And above all else, stay faithful. We out of here. Peace.